Ahoy, me hearties, and welcome to the fourth episode of Command Block Tutorials. Today we're going to take a little bit different approach because we had quite a few questions on our latest episodes, and I think that I would answer them to everyone and not just in the comment field, because some of them are pretty valid questions that I should have uh, explained properly in the tutorial but failed to. So we're gonna start off with a few that doesn't require any demonstration, which is there were a bunch of or a few questions involving mobs, if you could give mobs items and if you could spawn mobs, and the question is no, you cannot do anything to mobs with the command block. The only thing you can affect with the command block is players. So no mobs, sheeps, villagers, nothing can be affected in any way except the player. And you cannot detect a player to give off a redstone signal or anything if the player gets close enough. The closest thing to mob detection or player detection would be this thing, which we had in the first episode. So you can detect if a player enters this area and teleport him to a, if we would say a pressure plate. Let's shut that off. You could do like this. You could have a pressure plate, have a clock running, and when you go inside this area you will end up on the pressure plate, but you would have to set it up differently so the player can leave. But that's the closest thing to player detection. Teleport them to a pressure plate by running a teleport command all the time, which could be stressful on a server or a survival playing. For a server, that's pretty much the only place you would need player detection, not in single player. So let's see. Yes, and the next question is, can I give more than one item from one command block? And the answer is no, you cannot. You can give an amount of the item you're giving. So let's say give the command block, and then I can give 64 of that item, just like so, but I cannot give a command block and a button in the same command block. And that brings us to the next question. Can I use two commands in one command block? No, you cannot use two commands in the command block, because the first thing you do is type in what the command is, and then it's you finalize the command, select what you will give or where you will teleport, and then there's no more room. There's no start a new command sign or anything. What you could do, and this brings us to one of my little tips. I don't know if many knows about this, but the command block is a full block, which means it will send a signal through. Another fun thing is that you can place redstone dust above it if you place it on the block next to it, because you will select it if you just click it. So if you take a glass, repeaters, dust, pressure plates, and torches. Haven't figured out how you can place buttons on. If you can, Yep, and if anyone knows how to do that, please leave a comment in the comment section below so I can tell everyone about it. But what you can do with that information, that this is now a powered block, which means that when I do like this, all of these will get triggered because this get powered and activate these. We can quickly show that by saying 1, 2, nope, that's wrong. Say 3, say 4. And as you see, there is no real combination to what it says, or a real pattern. There's no real pattern, it just says everything at the same time, kind of. So if you would like to set a spawn point and then teleport, I would strongly recommend to place the command that teleports last. Always, if you have a string of commands where teleport is one of them, the teleport should always be at least one tick after everything else. Another way to activate multiple commands at one time, let's do this. You could use this, which would give us 4, 5, and let's see if we can get that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 commands in one go, like so. So you can get a multiple amount of commands at the same time. And so the next question is, can you only control the command block if you are in creative mode and have sheets activated? Well, there are multiple yes and no's in this. If you are on a server, well, you always have to be in creative mode to change the content of the command block. To activate the command block, it does not matter what game mode you are in. Survival, de-opt, if you're on a server, it doesn't matter. You can always activate the command block if you provide it with a redstone signal. It does not check who activates it. And for the actual controlling of the command block, you have to be in creative. If you are in a server, you have to be opt to control it. And with the sheets, if you are in a single player world and making a map, you have to have sheets on. And if you are in a server, sheets can always be activated. But if you do not want to have sheets turned on to control the command blocks, sheets does not have to be on to actually use the command blocks, but you have to make sure that in the config files of your server or the map itself, there is a command, or not a command, but a file, and where there are config options, and there is something called command block output or something like that. I'm not 100% sure on how that works. I have fiddled around with a server that I activated it on, but I cannot remember the exact name of the command where you have to activate. But you have to activate it, and it's called command block something. And it has to be true and not false, otherwise the command blocks will not work, but you will not have to have sheets on. I hope that was clear and I didn't stumble away too much, but let's go on to the next question. We have a guy, he wants to have a custom story map, and he wants everyone to spawn in a certain location, and he wondered if he could have a command block and set it to say spawn points and at A, which is everyone, this here, use at or yeah at A to target all players, and have people that come in later to get sent there. And no, you can only affect players that is online. So what you would have to do is have a setup like this, which we have right in front of us. This would be the center of the setup, and we have 10 blocks in each direction where there is tripwire. And no matter where we are here, this lamp will be turned on. And when the lamp's turned on, you would have command blocks on a clock saying set spawn point and teleport to where you want it. So this is the spawn platform. You would have your spawn here, and when someone spawns in, they will instantly be teleported to your desired location. A recommendation for the command block is either to put it just below the block where the red dust is, or use the arguments in episode 2 to select this area and have a 20 block radius, and have select all players within this area. If you are unfortunate with just having the block below and setting the nearest player and spawn and teleport, one person could end up here, get his spawn point set, and then when it's supposed to teleport him, someone gets here, gets spawned here, and gets teleported away, but its spawn point does not get set. So using the arguments is a strong recommendation. And some people have had problems with the difficulty settings. That could be typos. If you have capital letters, it does not work at all. Let's see if we can put a capital anywhere. Yes, this is for some reason case sensitive. I have really no idea why they made the command block case sensitive. It seems useless and maybe only creates problem, probably only creates problem. There are no commands that are so similar that you need case sensitivity. And it's not like typing a password, so I have no idea. And what you could check is for typos in the difficulty. This is actually copy and pasted from a guy that had this problem, so I have no idea why it's not working for him. It could be the sheet settings, but if everything else works, it's strange. You could have had 2 spaces between the difficulty and the number, but that's the only 2 things that I can think of, capital letters and double spaces. But after the command, the amount of spaces is irrelevant and it will work either way. I hope this helped. And so the next question is, how do I set up a welcoming command when people enter my server? And you would start off by having this at your spawn point. And another quick tip on this is where the actual spawn is, you do not have to build it right there. You could use mcedit to change the spawn point. It's pretty simple. mcedit will tell you that you cannot move your spawn point, but then it will do it anyway. I don't know why it does that, but it's a known thing. Then you would want to teleport them to your desired location. Let's say it's over here. Put a pressure plate where they will end up and a command block just below. Then you will type the command say or tell, depending on if you want to say to the whole server that JarsCrafted has arrived, or if you want to just tell JarsCrafted that welcome, you have arrived. So we will first tell the whole server that I have arrived, say welcome the nearest player, and when I step on it, welcome JarsCrafted, and then it will say nice eye patch. Welcome JarsCrafted, nice eye patch, thank you very much. You could also use the tell command and then add the nearest player. Now it will whisper to you or to me, welcome JarsCrafted, nice eye patch. Now I am the only one who will see this on the entire server, so this is fully up to you if you want to only let the person that arrives that he is welcome, or if you want to tell the entire server that the player has arrived. And that brings us to the last question. How to get rid of the command block spamming. We have gone through this in the first episode, but I might have gone through it a little bit too quickly. And what you see in the left corner is what is called the command block spamming. As you can see, my entire chat is filled with commands that I didn't really need to see. This is where we come to the game rules. And the first one, that is the command block output. You could program this into a command block, which is what we are going to do right now. So we are going to type game rule command block output false. And note that block and output uses capital letters, and that is very important. And this is the same for all of the other game rules. Do fire tick. Both fire and tick has capital letters and do does not. So the first word is a small letter or a non-capital, and the other words are capital letters. And this is very important, otherwise it will not work. Did it set? Let's see. As you can see, there is no more spamming in the chat. At all. So let's get out of here. Turn off that clock. And if you would type it in yourself, you would have to use the slash and game rule command block output, and let's say true. And it will say that game rule has been updated. It will not if you put it in a command block. So now we should not see any commands. But if I once again tell it that it's command block output true, we will start seeing the commands. So there is only one other tip that I have for you this time, and we can demonstrate that over here. Now let's get our saddle, carrot on a stick, and our pigs. As you can see, I kind of get teleported, and then I'm not really teleported. So run, piggy! Run to where I wish you to run. Over here. So let's see what it does over here. It kind of tries to teleport us, but then it fails, and it's just this jerky motion. And that is because you are mounted to the pig and are not allowed to leave. So the same thing goes for boats and mine carts, which are also things that you ride. So you cannot use the teleport command when you are on a pig, boat, or a mine cart. All other commands should work except the teleport. So I hope you had a great time watching this episode and that you have learned something as well. I have also learned a lot from making these tutorials, and I think that the next episode will be with me making my map, which I am currently very holed up doing, trying to get it out to the 50 sub special, which was quite a while ago. But I have recorded already some of me making it, and yeah, I hope you had a great time watching this episode, and I will see you next time.